Hello, dear friend. You are watching the astrology prediction for Gemini for 2021. This video is for everyone who has their sun or rising sign in Gemini. And the year can be actually quite interesting for you guys because Jupiter and Saturn are moving to Aquarius, which is another air sign. And you as an air sign will also be supported by this. But before we dive deeper into that, I just want to mention something. There is a special gift for you. It's a full calendar for January 2021, which you can get for free. Just check the link below and download it now. There's also a full version for the whole year if you want to purchase that, which includes an in-depth webinar. So check the links, it will all make sense. First of all, Jupiter is moving to Aquarius and will be there most of the year in your 9th house between January and the middle of May and between August and the end of the year. So Jupiter in 9th house is a very supportive position for expanding your worldview, working on some future goals, changing your philosophy, becoming more optimistic, more positive about your future. And Jupiter is trining Gemini, so you may have some opportunities to grow, to do new things, to start new things, and also to learn new things. Usually, Gemini is a sign which is really interested in learning new skills and new knowledge and new information. With Jupiter in 9th house, you can really expand this area of your life. You can become more competent in certain area of knowledge. You can start a new education. You may even apply at the college or university. Or this may also be great for graduating. If you have previously started those activities, you can succeed, you can expand, or you may just learn lots of valuable information. Overall, it's about changing your mindset, changing your worldview. And we need to mention that Uranus will have a square with Jupiter. And this is a very, very drastic change. It's about insights. It's about, something shocking you, which actually pushes you to change your understanding and your whole philosophy. This conjunction, this square will happen at the beginning of the year during January. So during January, you might expect something interesting, something exciting, but also something kind of strange, something you are surprised to see or to recognize. It could be about your past because Uranus will be in 12th house. It could be about maybe something you have forgotten about or something which is revealed to you. It could be an intuitive insight which may also come, or it could be a totally new spiritual experience. But the change will be significant. Your mindset, your worldview, your philosophy, your goals for the future may change drastically during 2021. And specifically during the summer, between the middle of May and the end of July, Jupiter is moving to your 10th house, which is a very nice position. Jupiter will be quite strong actually in Pisces and in your 10th house. And this can allow you to expand socially in terms of career, in terms of your social work, or anything that has to do with your reputation. Starting a new business, starting a new career project, or being promoted. All of that may happen thanks to Jupiter in your 10th house. So check this possibility, check everything that's happening in your chart, of course, but the summer can be especially interesting in this area. As we said, Jupiter is not the only planet which changes signs. Saturn is also moving to your 9th house. So Jupiter and Saturn are kind of chasing each other there. And Jupiter can bring you the expansion, the growth, the optimism. Saturn, on the other side, can make you more grounded. Yes, it can make you a little bit too rational sometimes, or skeptical, or more practical. But this can be actually a very productive combination as long as we take the best from each of those planets. And it's time to get really serious about your vision for the future, about your goals. You need to be more specific, more concrete, more practical, and to really focus on the things that need to be done in regards to your goals. Again, about education and knowledge, you can be more competent, you can learn many things, but you have to work for that. It's not coming out of the blue. It's not coming to you without any effort. You need to work hard for that, but the rewards may also be very good. And Saturn is also squaring Uranus actually 3 times, February, June, and December. And this can bring some shifts in regards to your goals and your vision for the future. You might feel like, okay, there's something that's not working the way I planned. I need a change. And it's also time to work with your own beliefs. One of my favorite topics that's especially relevant to ninth house is our limiting beliefs. Saturn in ninth house from one side may trigger those limiting beliefs, but with Jupiter also transiting ninth house and Uranus squaring Jupiter and Saturn, it's time to set free from those limiting beliefs. It's time to destroy them. It's time to transform them and move on to another level. And Saturn and Uranus are actually planets which are completely different. They want completely different things. And you might feel like you are pulled in 2 directions. Saturn bringing the desire for stability, security, certainty. And on the other side, Uranus, which is bringing the desire for some adventure, for some variety, new experiences, changes. And from one side, you may feel like, okay, I want this stable, consistent vision about my goals and my future, but internally or subconsciously, you may either sabotage this, or you may feel like, okay, I can't commit to this. I need something different. I need a change. So it's kind of like chasing 2 different things at the same time. And the answer is always in the balance. You need to find the compromise between your desire for stability and certainty, and on the other side, the need for variety and adventures. Moving on to Uranus, as we already mentioned, Uranus is in your 12th house between the 7th and the 15th degree. Make sure to check where is the cusp of your 12th house. If you are not sure, you can use my free birth chart calculator. The link is below. And you just have to check where is your 12th house. If it's between the 7th and the 15th degree, then Uranus will trigger this house, and it can bring you some insights, some changes. It can make you more interested in spiritual things, in spiritual practices. It can bring insights, it can bring inspiration, and also desire to work and to transform the past. So that's an important position. Then Neptune is in 10th house between the 19th and the 24th degree. Again, check if you have the cusp of your 10th house somewhere between those degrees, but also if your sun or rising sign is between the same degrees but in Gemini. If that's the case, it means that Neptune will have a challenging aspect with your sun or rising sign, and this might be a complicated phase. From one side, you may feel kind of confused and a little lost and maybe a little distracted, but on the other side, Neptune can make you much more sensitive and inspired, maybe willing to make a sacrifice, willing to heal something in yourself, or to be more creative. So I'm not saying it's a simple period, because it's not. If Neptune triggers your sun, or if Neptune crosses your 10th house, Those could be some confusing times, but they come also with a purpose. And usually the purpose is to detach a little bit from the outer world, the material world, to get more internal, to work more with ourselves, with some healing, if that needs to be done. And in my experience, we all need healing at a certain point. And also changing your vision for your career and your business. You might feel kind of, well, like you're no longer interested in what you used to be interested in. So it could change your vision for your career and your goals. And finally, Pluto, the last outer planet. Pluto is in your 8th house, which is a powerful position. Pluto is normally associated to this house. And it's important if actually you have the cusp of your 8th house somewhere between the 25th and 27th degree of Capricorn. Again, check the calculator. If that's the case, Pluto can trigger some critical situations, some transformations, some financial issues. Investments may also be very important. And it really depends on the whole chart, how you will process this energy. And of course, what you are doing with this energy. It might feel kind of critical and challenging, but you may also receive some benefits. You may focus more on investments. So it could be a very important area. And also spiritual work and exploration, research, diving deeper into esoterics or some occult knowledge or anything secret, anything that's deep and exciting and interesting, maybe a little scary as well. You can become more interested in that, in the secret occult things, and just go on and research, do your own work in this area. Next, we will talk about eclipses. Eclipses will trigger and denote. First of all, the nodes, they are actually in your 1st and 7th house, which are quite important positions. The south node is in your 7th house, which means you need to release some connections or dependence to other people. And you need to focus more on yourself and your own independence. With the north node in your 1st house, it's time to shine on your own. It's time to take action personally, not to rely on someone else, not to depend, maybe not even to think so much about others, but instead to put yourself first and to take the initiative. Eclipses also trigger those areas. The May eclipse requires from you to find the balance between yourself, your partner, relationships, what do you want, what other people want of you, and this tricky balance. Then the June eclipse activates your 1st house, which is about your own initiative, your own actions, desires, projects, your role in your own life. So it can be quite empowering, actually. And the November eclipse trigger 12th and 6th house. It's about work and rest. It's about our health. It's about finding the balance in those areas. And actually, it's quite important to check those degrees. You can see them in the table and see if those degrees are also triggering something in your chart, because it may show you whether there will be also something even more important in your life. And the last eclipse, the December eclipse, triggers your 7th house, but it includes the south node there. So release, let go, forgive, especially when it comes to relationships, partners, and other important people in your life. Next, we are moving to Venus. Venus will be retrograde at the very end of the year, after the 19th of December, and Venus will be retrograde in your 8th house. So the last 2 weeks of 2021 and January 2022. Right now, it may seem far away in the future. Trust me, it will come very soon. So I want you to be prepared for that. Venus in 8th house triggers mostly emotional issues and also financial issues. You may reconsider things. There could be some changes, some fluctuations, some secrets that could be revealed, and overall some digging in the past, especially emotional matters and relationships. So transformative period, not very simple, but you can let go, you can release, you can heal some emotional experiences. And finally, we have Mercury retrograde, which is quite important for you because, of course, Mercury is the ruler of Gemini. The important periods, you can check the table here. What's interesting is that Mercury will be retrograde in air signs, only air signs during the year, which trigger your first, ninth, and fifth house. Those are the houses of taking action. So you can reconsider your goals, your own actions, your desires, your values, quite important. Of course, the most important is the phase when Mercury will be retrograde in first house in Gemini. This comes between the 29th of May and the 22nd of June. This is the most important retrograde phase for you, and the time when you can reconsider something about your projects, about your actions, about your goals. So that's the most important for 2021. As you can see, the most triggered seems to be your ninth house with Jupiter and Saturn there most of the year. There could be new opportunities. There could be some desire for stability, but also some surprises because Uranus is squaring those two planets. Mercury is also retrograde in those houses of action. So maybe it's time to reconsider how you approach things, how you behave. Is there something that you are willing to change about yourself? Those are actually one of the most meaningful questions, what we can do to change our lives. So don't forget also to download your calendar for January astrology calendar. And if you're interested, you can purchase the full version for the whole year, which comes with webinar about 2021. Very interesting year, lots of transformations, especially socially, especially when we talk about community and vision with so much Aquarius energy. It could be quite exciting. Thank you so much for joining me. I wish you a wonderful 2021. If you're new here, you want to subscribe, I'm sure, because there are also many other surprises for you on this channel. Thank you so much again, and I'll see you soon.